take this opportunity to first of all congratulate President Obama and Vice President Biden on their victory last week. Them and their supporters ran a strong campaign. I also want to thank Governor Romney and Ann Romney, their entire family and campaign team for advocating for renewing America's promise, for standing up for free markets and limited government. Congressman Ryan and his family also deserve our respect in that effort as well. Governor Romney came close, and he deserves our thanks for that. I believe that the next 4 years are going to be crucial, and it's time, in my view, that Washington takes action to fix our economy and solve the other problems we face. Now, let me make this very clear. This was a close election. I respect the voices of the people who supported the president, but I could not disagree with their choice more. I still, to this day, believe this president is one of the worst in our history and is an incompetent president. And unfortunately, he would have to do a lot for me to change my mind on that. I think that it is important for Republicans, however, to at least attempt to work with the president, but to not give in when it matters. What do I mean? Let's take this fiscal cliff, for example. Republicans have to draw a line in the sand. We will not raise taxes on the middle class. We will not raise taxes on businesses. And we will not increase the deficit. And we have to cut the deficit not $1 or $2 trillion over the next 10 years, but 6, 7, 8 trillion or more over the next 10 years. And we have to generate job growth to increase the amount the Treasury takes in. Now, President Obama wants to hike rates on the rich. I don't think 250,000 is a number we should be doing that. I think 500,000, 750,000 and above, we could do that. Take their rate from 36 to 39. I don't think that we should plan on raising their taxes permanently. I don't believe in class warfare, but I also don't believe that going over the fiscal cliff is a viable option. My hope is that we focus more on tax reform and spending restraint as opposed to just taxing businesses in America. That's my hope. I also believe that, but I think fundamentally long term, the Republicans need to continue on the fight for fiscal discipline and free markets. We need to reduce taxes, especially on those working hard and on businesses. We need to reduce the number of federal regulations. We need to reduce the federal deficit, repeal the president's health care law, strengthen the dollar, audit the Federal Reserve, and do the things necessary to generate economic growth. I think on that type of, on those financial bread and butter issues, the Republican Party is better for ordinary people, better for the overall economy, and for the fiscal health of our country. And therefore, I think Republicans should continue to fight for bold solutions to these problems. It is on social issues where I strongly believe the party needs to change its tune. We need to adopt a more, and this is something I believe in. These are my principles. These are not just things I believe the party should do for political expediency. These are things I believe in principle, and that is we need to adopt a more socially libertarian perspective. States' rights, stop having the federal government get in the bedroom, get the federal government out of the bedroom, and let the citizens decide decisions like same-sex marriage and the like. Get the federal government out of banning assault weapons. They let the assault weapons ban expire. I think that's a good thing. I think that we ought to let the states decide what to do with gun laws. The people closest to the governments closest to the people should consult the people and make decisions that way. That's what our forefathers wanted, and that's what we need to stand up for today. States' rights and social libertarianism. Now, there's some, of course, there's some basic foundations we need to enforce, such as DOMA, or the partial birth abortion ban, or even a federal background check. But I do believe that really, at the end of the day, 90% of the decisions regarding abortion, gay marriage, guns, 90% of them I think should be left to the states, to local governments, and the people. So I think we have to soften. I think Republicans in general need to get away from this kind of, get away from getting involved, bogged down in these debates about social issues, stop trying to be the moral policeman, if you will. I think that's important. I think if we continue to be fiscally conservative but socially libertarian, our principles will be stronger and we will win elections. I think, and let me say something else. I know a lot of people are saying the Republicans won't win another election. I disagree. It usually takes either 2 terms or 2 Democratic presidents or Republican presidents before parties are switched. If you had asked a Republican after the election in 1948 when Harry Truman defeated Thomas Dewey by 4 percentage points, if Dwight Eisenhower or any Republican would win in 1952, they would have laughed you off. Same thing with the Democrats after George Bush beat Michael Dukakis, winning 54% of the vote in 1988. If you had asked a Democrat, first of all, you would have asked them who Bill Clinton was, and they would have told you who. And they said that their party wouldn't have a chance in 92. So, these shifts happen historically. Obviously, a lot of people thought, some Republicans thought this would be a Reagan-Carter election. I always thought it would be closer. There was a time when I thought Romney might win, then I sort of went back. I knew it would be this close in terms of the popular vote. Obviously, I'm disappointed by the outcome, strongly disappointed, and wasn't expecting the president to win Florida or Virginia, certainly. I sort of saw Ohio coming for the past 6 or 7 weeks before the election. Obviously, we're disappointed. We have a lot of work to do, those of us in the Republican Party. The good news is we won a majority of independents, and we managed in some places to close the gap with female voters. But the truth is we need to be able to be an inclusive party again, like we were under Ronald Reagan during the Newt Gingrich Contract with America in 1994, and to a lesser extent in the election of 2004 under President George W. Bush, when Republicans won 2 consecutive elections in a row in 2002 and again in 2004. We need to be more inclusive. And to do that, we're going to have to be able to compromise on policy, not principle, in some ways. In other ways, we shouldn't. We're going to have to actually go out and court every voter. And I agree with something that Governor Bobby Jindal said, which is we need to stand up for the 100%, not just the 53%. I agree with that. As far as future leaders of the party, we have some tremendous people in the GOP who are going to be leaders of the future. Folks like Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey, Governor Susana Martinez of New Mexico, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, Governor Nikki Haley of South Carolina, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor of Virginia, Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Congresswoman Kathy McMarsh Rogers of Washington, Governor John Kasich of Ohio, Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, Senator Kelly Ayotte of New Hampshire, and the list goes on and on. So to those who say the Republican Party is done with, they're wrong. I think that we need to do some, what people are saying, soul searching, and I think that also we need to change on social issues if we want to win elections.